guys, this is Sociology and I'm the student of BS English Part 1 in the University of Sindh campus Larkano. This video is for the video presentation of my first semester examination. Let's start it. This video presentation is based on the subject Sociology and my teacher is the PVC of our campus, PVC Azhar Ali Shah. Here I have four topics of sociology. Number one, social changes. Second, social institutions. Third, culture. And fourth, socialization. Let's have a look on social change. Social change is a concept in sociology which talks about a change in the established pattern of social relationship or change in social values or change in structures and subsystems operating in the society. The term social change is to indicate the changes that take place in human interaction and interrelations. Auguste Comte, the father of sociology, has posed two problems: the question of social statics and the question of social dynamics. What is, how it changes? The sociologist not only outline the structure of the society but also seeks to know its causes also. According to Maurice Ginsburg, social change is a change in the social structure. Now, the two sources of social change: the internal source of social change, the external source of social change. An internal source of social change are those factors that originate within a specific society that singly or in a combination with other factors produce alternation in social institutions and social structure. An external source of social change are events that originate outside of society to bring about a change to social institutions or structures. Types of social change. According to cultural anthropologist David F. Aberd, there are four types of social change: the alternative, the redemptive, the reformative, and the revolutionary. These different movements are distinguished by how much change they advocate and whether they target individuals or the entirety of a society. Alternative social change operates at the individual level and seeks to change minor aspects of behavior. Comparisons against texting and driving are an example of alternative social change, in the sense that they advocate a small change in behavior and advocate this change on the fairly small scale. Redemptive social change functions on the individual level but advocates a dramatic change within the individual. The spread of religion is an example of redemptive social change. Recovery programs like Alcoholics Anonymous are also examples of redemptive social change, as they advocate dramatic personal change for a specific portion of population. In reformative social change seeks to enact a specific change on a broad scale. The movement on obtain marriage rights for same-sex couples is an example of reformative social change. This movement seeks a very specific set of changes but desires these changes on a wide scale. And the revolutionary social change. It indicates dramatic social change on a large scale. Revolutionary movement seeks to fundamentally restructure society. Example of revolutionary social change include the American Civil Rights Movement and the Russian Revolution of the early 20th century. The main factors of social change: the demographic factor, biological factors, cultural factors, technological factors, environmental factors, sociological factors, and other factors. So let's have a look on them. Demographic factors. Demography plays an important role in the process of social change. The term demography has been derived from two Greek words, demos and graphs, means the people, and to draw or write, respectively, which means scientific study of human population. Primarily with respect to their size, structure, and their development, in the study of social change, demographic factors have been viewed from two different angles. They are qualitative and quantitative. Qualitatively speaking, it refers to physical potentialized mental abilities, etc., that are determined by genetic order, though the hereditary quality of successive generation plays some role in cultural determination. It cannot be ascribed the place of determinative cause of social change, but demographic factors, its qualitative aspect, has been playing the most descriptive role in causing social change. Biological factors. Accordingly, biological factors plays an important role in the causation of social change. An ordinary biological factor refers to those which are concerned with the genetic constitution of human beings. Human beings use animals, birds, plants, and herb according to direction of their own culture. At the same time, human beings protect themselves from different harmful elements. If there is increase or decrease of these animals, birds, plants, etc., it will bring a number of change in human society. Rapid population growth influences our environment, cause poverty, food shortage, and multiple health problems, thereby brings changes in society. Migration acceleration, the process of urbanization. Urbanization creates multiple problems like slum, quality of health, and lifestyle. Similarly, the nature and quality of human being in a society influences the rate of social change. Now, cultural factors. In a sociology, the word culture denotes acquired behavior, which are shared by the transmitted among the members of the society. Man learn his behavior, and behavior which is learned is called culture. Singing, dancing, eating, playing belongs to that category of culture. It includes all the man has acquired in a mental and intellectual sphere of this individual and social life. It is an expression of our nature in our moods of living and thinking in art, in literature, in exploration and enjoyment. The basic element of culture, like language, religion, philosophy, the literature, faith, and values, which will take long time to change due to the influences of another culture. The coexistence of two different cultures for a long period can cause cultural diffusion, leading to changes in both India, for example, discarded age-long customs like sati and child marriage because of her content with Europeans. Technological factors. The technological factors also play important role in causing social change. It implies an appropriate organization and systemic application of scientific knowledge to meet the human requirements. Technology is a product of utilization. When the scientific knowledge is applied to the problem of life, it becomes technology. Technology is fast growing. Modern age is the age of technology. Technology changes society by changing our environment to which we in turn adopt. This change is usually in the material environment, and the adjustment that we make with these changes often modifies custom and social institutions initiate a corresponding social change. Developments in the field of transportation and communication reduced the social distance, which gave momentum to cultural diffusion and thereby to social change. Environmental factor due to flood, earthquake, excessive rain, drought, change of season, etc. We can find imbalance in population, which directly affect the social relationships, and these are modified by such natural occurrences. Variation in the availability of water resources and minerals resources can also affect social change. If we think about a person or an individual who is growing under the roof of a particular society and he lives among different kinds of people, so the environment of society affects himself. And as we know that an individual is a part of society who brings social change, thus environment factor brings social change. Psychological factors. Some writers notice a psychological process in a formation of society, and according to them, human relation based on the consideration of an individual mind and the group mind shape and a mod social system. Therefore, when the physical force like floods, earthquake, and epidemic considered as factors causing social change, The importance of psychological factors in the regard cannot be ignored. Change in attitude of society towards family planning, dowry, caste system, women's education, etc., which brought about radical changes in society and primarily psychological in nature. Other factors. In addition to above mentioned factors, other elements such as wars, ethnic tensions, competitions for resources, trade, unionism, banking system, human rights movements, enhanced environmental awareness, etc. have resulted in widespread social variation and modification. Our next topic, which is social institution. What is social institution? A social structure and social mechanism of social order cooperation that govern the behavior of its member or a group of social position concerned by social relations performing a social role. In other words, any institution in a society that work to socialize the group of people in it. Functions of institution. Institutions simplify social behavior for the individual person. It provides ready-made form of social relations and social roles for individuals. It acts as agencies for cooperation and stability for the total culture, and it controls behavior. The major social institution, which is the family, education, religion, economic institutions, and government on a social institution. The family, the smallest social institution with a unique function of producing the rearing the young. It is the basic unit of society and the educational system where the child begins to learn his ABC, the basic agent of socialization, because it is the here where the individual develops values, behaviors, and way of life through the interaction with members of family. Functions of the family: reproduction of race and rearing of the young, culture transmission of inculturation, socialization of the child, providing affection and a sense of security, providing the environment for personality development and the growth of self-concept in the relation to others, providing social status. Number two, education, a form of learning in which the knowledge, skill, and habits of a group of people are transferred from one generation to the next through teaching, training, or research. Purpose of education: intellectual purposes. To teach basic cognitive skills such as reading, writing, and mathematics. To transmit specific knowledge. Political purposes: to intellectual allegiance to the existing political order. To, to prepare citizens who will participate in the political order. To assimilate diverse culture groups into political order. And to teach children the basic laws. Social purpose: to socialize children into the various roles, behaviors, and value of society. Economic purpose: to prepare students for their later occupational roles, and to select, train, and allocate individuals into the division of labor. Number third, religion. What is religion? A system of beliefs and rituals that serve to bind people together through the shared worship, thereby creating a social group. Set of beliefs and practices that pertain to a sacred or supernatural realm that guides human behavior and gives meanings to life among a community of believers. Characteristics of religion: belief in a deity, a doctrine of salvation, a code of conduct, and religious rituals. Now, functions of religion: serve as means of social control, exerts a great influences upon personality development, always fear of unknown, explains events or situations which are beyond comprehension of a man, gives men comfort, strength, and hope in the times of crisis and fear. It preserves the transmitted knowledge, skill, spiritual and cultural values and practices. It serves as an instrument of change, promote closeness, love, cooperation, friendliness, and helpfulness, alleviates sufferings from major calamities. It provides hope for blissful economic institutions. It is concerned with the specific economic units of parts that makes an economic system and the relationship between those parts. Its emphasis is placed on understanding the behavior of individual firms, industries, households, and way in which such titles interacts. It concerned with the economy as a whole or large segments of it. It focuses on such problems as the role of unemployment, the changing level of prices, the nation's total output of goods and services, and the way in which government raises and spends money. Number 5. Government as a social institution. It is an institution which solves conflicts that are public in nature and involves more than a few people. It is institution by which an independent society makes the carries out those rules of actions which are necessary to enable men to live in a social state, or which are imposed upon the people for their society by those who possess the power or authority of prescribing them. Three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. Now, our third topic, which is culture. Culture is derived from the English word kultra and the Sanskrit word samkar, which denotes social channel and intellectual excellence. Culture is a way of life. To clarify, a culture represents the beliefs and practices of a group, while society represents the people who share those beliefs and practices. Neither society nor culture could exist without the others. Definition: different sociologists have differently defined the land culture. Taylor: culture is the complex whole which includes knowledge, beliefs, arts, morals, laws, customs, habits, and any capability acquired by a man as a member of society. And John Beat: culture is a way of life which is transmitted from generation to generation. Meaning of culture. Culture consists of beliefs, behaviors, objects, and other characteristics common to the member of particular group or society. Through culture, people and groups define themselves, conform to society's shared values, and contributes to society. Nature of society. Culture is non-biological or social aspects of human life. Culture refers to the way of we understand ourselves as individuals and as member of. Evolution of culture. Culture evolution, historical, also known as social culture evolution, was originally developed in the 19th century by anthropologists stemming from Charles Darwin. Research on evolution. Today, culture evolution has become the basic for a growing field of scientific research in the social sciences, including anthropology, economics, psychology, and organizational studies. Previously, it was believed that social change results from biological adaptation, but anthropologists now commonly accept that social change as and consequence of combination of social evolution and biological influence. Component of culture: the symbol, the language, the values, norms, mores, folkways, and laws. Symbols: anything that carries a particular meaning recognized by people who share a culture. It can be either natural, material object like flags, and it can be a non-material object like different gestures. Language is a system of symbols that allow people to communicate with one another. A set of symbols that express idea and enable people to think and communicate with one another. And literature is ability to communicate in symbols, orally, manual, sign, in or in writing. Values. Culturally defined standard that people use decide that what is right or wrong, good or bad, desirable or undesirable values often come in pairs of positive and negative. Norms are rules and expectation by which a society guides the behavior of its members, established rules of behavior or standard of conduct. Folkways and customs. Folkways are accepted way of behavior. According to Gillen, folkways are the behavior pattern of everyday life which unconsciously arise within a group. Morse standards of behavior that influences the moral conduct of people conformably to mass is called a Morse. Customs are formed on the basis of habits. Customs are social habits which, through repetition, becomes the basic of an order of social behavior. Laws. Laws are enacted by the state or center to have control over individuals. According to Green law, is more or less systemic body of generalized rules, balanced between the fiction of performance and fact of change governing specifically defined relationships and situations, and employing force or the threat of force in defined and limited ways. Laws applies equally to all laws are defined, clear, and precise. Now, our last topic, which is socialization. Definition of socialization. Definitions of socialization by well-known sociologists. M. D. McCune. The lifelong process by which an individual becomes the proper member of society and develop human characteristics. Horton and Hunt. It is a learning process in which group interact and learn social norms, also develop his or herself. Ogburn. It is the process of learning the norms of groups and society. Bogardus. A process of learning to live and work together is called socialization. Agents of socialization. The agents or institutions that are responsible for the socialization process are family, peers, school, religious institutions, and mass media. Types of socialization. There are seven types of socialization. Number first, formal socialization. It is the organized learning of skill norms and informing such as in a school environment. Second, informal socialization. It's the learning without formal structures outside of the institution such as with friends. Third, primary socialization. This type of socializations happen when a child learns the values, norms, and behaviors that should be displayed in order to live accordingly to a specific culture. Example, a child hears his father talk bad words against an old lady. The child would think this behavior is socially acceptable. So he would start talking bad words against old people. Fourth, secondary socialization. This type of socialization occurs when a person learns an appropriate behavior to display it within a smaller group which is still part of a larger society. Fifth, development socialization. This type of socialization involves a learning process wherein the focus in developing our social skills. Sixth, anticipatory socialization. This type of socialization refers to a process wherein a person practices or rehearses for future social relationships. And last, resocialization. This type of resocialization involves rejections, previous behavior pattern, and accepting new one so the individual can shift from one part in the life to another. Resocialization is said to be happening throughout human life cycle. So, this video was all about four topics: social change, social institutions, culture, and socialization. So, this was all about this video presentation. Thank you.